Hello, everyone. This is Mark Anthony with Edge on RegenShow.com. Everyone, I'm so thankful today. I have Dr. Nicole Parent here. Yes, Dr. Nicole is an unbelievable doctor who knows how to help out with things like neuropathy, pain in that foot, the tingling in the fingers, numbness. We all know what we're talking about. How many of us in our 30s, 40s, 50s been eating so much MSG that we're like, dang it, I haven't been taking care of myself. And then what happens? The sugar gets to us and we start having ailments. Well, we have a new kid on the block. It's called Shockwave. What is Shockwave? What does it do? Does it shock you? You put your finger in the socket, maybe having too much coffee? I don't know, but I know I have. But today, just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Nicole, for being here.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome.
And we can find you at parentchiropractic.com. Is that right?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about your guys' practice. It's a family practice, and
Yes.
and then how you got into Shockwave and how you've seen it transform your guys' practice.
Yeah. So we're located in Londonderry, New Hampshire. So it's a small town. It's kind of 30 minutes away from Boston. We've had the practice. Actually, my dad is the owner of the practice, so he's been practicing for almost 30 years, and I graduated a few years ago, so I've been practicing for almost 3 years in the office. In regards to the device that we got, my dad was actually thinking about it back in 2019. He was approached by Dr. Doduro, and he kind of looked into it. He did all of the research, and then COVID hit. So he had to put everything on hold because we weren't sure what was happening with the economy at that point. Go fast forward to January of 2021, Dr. Doduro reached out to him again. We revisited that, and my dad actually went to another office. He got it done on his lower back and his feet because he's had back issues. He's had neuropathy issues. So as soon as he got off the table, he noticed a difference, and he's like, we're getting this machine. So yeah. So July of 2021, we ended up getting the machine. I will admit, because I wasn't exposed to the machine like he was, I was very skeptical. I was like, okay, what is this? This is probably too good to be true. But when we did the discovery day, we brought in 10 patients currently from the office that are pretty established. They've been getting adjusted for over 10 years, and they just hit a point where they just kind of plateaued. They never ever got better. So we were like, okay, come on in, let's give this a shot. And growing up in the office, I've seen all of these patients. I know everyone. So when I saw that first patient, we actually did a knee on that first patient. She was ready for a knee replacement. And when I saw her get off of the table and her saying like, oh my God, I don't have any more pain. Like this is incredible. I'm going to cancel my knee surgery. That's when I was like, okay, this is awesome. Because she was more of like a skeptic too in itself. So when she got off the table, she was like, this is incredible.
That's awesome. So what really is Shockwave? I mean, when I think of Shockwave, I think of something that's just going to shock me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how does this? I mean, it has a little tick. You tell that it's there because I've used it.
Yes. Oh yeah.
What is this, like the rain gods meet up with the desert gods? I mean, how does this work? Because I'm seeing people that have never been able to maybe move their hand, and then all of a sudden they're able to move their hand and they're able to jump down, and the doctor's going to tell them, easy, tiger, easy. I don't want you.
Yeah, right. So it's unfocused electrohydraulic sound waves. So water and electricity, those sound waves go 3,300 miles an hour into the body, which triggers the body into thinking that that area that's being treated is injured, like it was just injured that day. But the good news is it does zero damage to the tissue, which is incredible.
Wow.
That sends a vibratory signal to the stem cells in your own bone marrow to go to that site to repair any damage for healthier, stronger cells.
You did a good job there. I have to say, you're impressive. Um,
Thanks.
no wonder why your dad's like, no, she's a keeper. Um,
Yes.
probably, I bet you are. On your, this is amazing. So correct me if I'm wrong, because my wife corrects me all the time. Um, so you can have dormanted stem cells, and could they undormant?
Mhm. Absolutely.
But if they're dead, they're dead.
They're they're not dead. Like, are you talking about like the stem cells in your own bone marrow and stuff?
Yeah, like let's say we'll pick a knee. Let's say
Okay.
knee, your knee. You have
Yeah. So those stem cells are their immature stem cells. So when we're a baby, we have throughout our whole body, those immature stem cells that differentiate into a muscle cell, a nerve cell, a blood cell, organ, some sort of organ cell. So with the stem cells, they're inside your bone marrow, they're dormant, they're not necessarily dead, they're just kind of shut off, kind of like a volcano, kind of dormant. When a rock hits that top of the volcano and it brings oxygen to the area, then the volcano wakes up, right? So same thing with that sound waves, it triggers a cells called exosomes. Those exosomes are the rock from the volcano that go to the stem cells, wake them up. Then the stem cells come out from that dormant state. They go to that area and they differentiate into healthier tendon cells, healthier joint cells, cartilage, any nerve cells, any blood cells that need to be going to that area.
wow. I've never heard of anything like this machine.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of copycats.
Yes. Yes, definitely. There are that some work in a sense, depending on the injury, but they don't recruit stem cells. They don't create new blood vessels. All they really do is to kind of decrease inflammation and kind of modulate pain. So it's temporary relief essentially, not long-term permanent. Like the stems for the therapy that we have, the blood vessel formation, that's permanent. The stem cell recruitment, that's permanent. Those two things never go away. With some of the copycats, it goes away.
Wow.
So,
That makes sense. It's funny because I'm seeing these copycats, but they're not lasting. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
chocolate,
they're not really.
it's
Um,
like every chiropractic office.
yeah. And to some of the other devices out there, they actually it's not sound waves, first of all. One thing, the therapy that we have goes the depth of a soup can into the tissue. The
Hmm.
copycats only go the depth of 4 dimes into the tissue. So that's a significant difference between the two for one. Yeah, yeah, right. The other one is those copycats, they actually create micro tears to elicit an inflammatory response. So they're actually damaging tissue. Whereas the soft wave we have doesn't do any damage to the tissue, which is why we can do it on more body parts. We can do it on knees. We can do it on the spine. We can do it on the head for people with concussions or stroke recovery patients. They're doing clinical trials in the United States right now for treatment for Parkinson's and Alzheimer's patients. You can't do that with these copycats.
They're limited.
Yes.
Plus, they have a great patent because it works. And so
Yeah.
you can just copy. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's kind of like you guys are the Nike Air, and then you got the let's say yeah, I don't know if you remember this. This is a lot of boomers and Xers will remember this. It's like Payless.
Oh, yes. Payless. I remember Payless. Yeah.
So you get what you pay for. I remember when I was in school. This is no joke. This is back in the '90s. I Michael Jordan was popular. Of course, my parents couldn't afford the Michael Jordan shoes that I wanted. So you go to Payless. You get the replicas, man. Right? They look kind
Right.
of like
Right.
no joke. By the end of the day, it was talking to me, meaning the soul came off. I was so embarrassed. I didn't leave the office, and my mom and dad were like, just finish the day out of school. I go, I'm not going to. You're going to pick me up. You
Yeah.
paid. you're going to come pick me up. I'm embarrassed.
Oh goodness.
I'm seeing how these other systems are. Why, you may be paying a little bit less,
Hmm.
but you're worth it. People
Yeah.
don't realize it. You're worth it. Your body is like a car. You don't put unleaded your rest of your life. You start treating it for premium, taking care of it, staying away from the MSG, even though it's kind of hard because it's pretty addictive.
Right.
But I love that. So what would you say are maybe three things that you've noticed that it's not just help stay with knees, but what are three major things that you would say that stuck out to you that you've seen what this baby can do, this unit can do?
So for sure, any pretty significant arthritis in any joint of the body, whether it's the low back, knees, that even the hands, like us as chiropractors, we're using our hands all the time. So by doing that, we've had patients who they come in to start, they show us a knee x-ray, they show us the severity of the arthritis, and they continuously go back to their ortho every 6 months to keep, because the ortho wants to keep an eye on it. They're not ready for surgery, but if it gets to the point where they need surgery, they do. So we've had patients who have come in a year after their last treatment, and the ortho says there's no progression, there's no more degeneration. In fact, it looks the same exact, the knee looks the same exact as it did a year prior.
Mm.
So they just came out with an article, actually, Softwave did, in regards to the stem cells, and it actually halts and has the potential to reverse the aging process in a joint for up to a year.
Wow. You know, this unit is amazing. I was literally talking to my wife today about this unit. I was like, Softwave is amazing. Uh,
Mhm.
when you see people that are in their 80s no longer in pain, and they've been told, I hate to say it, they've been told a lie. You know,
Mhm.
we and I always say this, we have two types of doctors. We have the doctors, actually three. You have the good type that says, hey, if you've got in a car accident, they save your life. Open heart surgery. That's one. Love that. The ones that are out, they're always in the ER. Then you have your other type of doctor that just gives you pills, especially for that neuropathy. How many people out there are struggling with neuropathy and they're giving you pills, they're giving you Latuda to make you feel just a little bit better because it'll help you. But you're
Mhm.
things. But then you
Mhm.
have the kind of doctor that says, like yourself, whom I love, you guys, is that they focus on trying to find the root problem and helping you, if not getting rid of it, getting you comfortable without having to pump you with pills.
Mhm.
All the pill pumping does is ends up, it gets worse and worse and worse. And you have to get a stronger dose for another stronger dose. There's a lot
Right.
of people that have neuropathy. 1.4 million people have diabetes every year. And Softwave can help you guys get comfortable. Big
Mhm.
time. And this is so, and I'm not a doctor. I'm letting you know. You don't need to go to the doctors to give you a bunch of pills. You don't. You can go to Softwave, you can go to parentchiropractic.com and they'll help you. What do you have to say? I know I'm over here. I kind of went on a detour.
Yes, I know.
I was saying, I'm about a year purchasing my own. I'm not a doctor, but it's kind of like the Joker with Batman. This is me. I love his wonderful toys. Where does he get?
Yes.
I know one day I may need it, or
Mm.
somebody in my family. You know,
Yeah.
what if you have someone that's on the edge right now, and they're just like, I've tried everything, and I just feel like giving up. What would you what would you say to that person to encourage them to not give up and to try this software?
Whew, that's a big ask. I get a lot of people in the office that do that, and they've tried every single pain doctor. They've tried all these medications. They've tried cortisone injections, trigger point injections. They've gotten surgery and they're not getting better. I always tell them, I say, you're going to know after this first visit if this is going to help you, and we're going to fix it.
I love
Simple as and
it.
they what'd you say?
It's the truth, what you're
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
because you'll know the first visit. It's not when you go to some doctors who are like, oh, this is going to take a couple, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks for it to kick in. You're going to know, and you're going to feel the
Yeah.
relief and the
Yeah.
relief. And you're like, wow, this is feeling better. I had a slip disc years ago, and I would get this numbness in my shoulders.
Hmm.
And one of the doctors told me a couple of years ago, you got to try this. Come here. I want you to try the soft wave. I was like, soft wave? Well, okay. What is it like? Cool. Cowabunga. I'm on a board. So, he goes, no, 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 sit down. Within 30 seconds, numbness went away. All the ailment, the pain went away. And I haven't had the pain. I've done it like 3 times and the pain's gone. And of
Yeah.
course, one's different depending on whatever situation, where it be diabetes or they fell off a skateboard. I don't know. But I just love soft wave. I think of soft wave as, I'm going to go way back, but the Babe Ruth of products. Babe Ruth was one of the greatest baseball players in the world. The Mike Tyson of products. It'll not just knock you out. It'll knock you back into who you were.
Yes.
But yeah, so have you tried it on yourself, and have you, yeah,
Yes.
about
Yes.
how that happened?
So, well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. So, when I was in the womb, I had a stroke, and doctors didn't find out until 6 months later. As a result of the stroke, 90% of my cerebellum on my right side failed to form because of the stroke, there was lack of blood flow, so that tissue just didn't form. So my entire life, my whole right side has notoriously been slower. It's been more uncomfortable than my left side. I've always struggled with issues. So I thought, again, initially with the soft wave, I'm like, it's probably not going to help, but because I've had this my entire life, but let's give it a shot. So more specifically, my knee, I would always run, even though I played sports and everything, I still ran awkwardly. I still was in a lot of pain. My knee would blow up, it would swell. Um, and actually, it happened to be that within 6 weeks before I started the treatment on my knee, I had a Spartan race at Fenway Park. So when you do those races, you're climbing up a bunch of stairs, you're on your knees, you're kind of like crawling, like army crawl. And I mean, I've done it before, and my God, my knee was killing me when I did it in 2015. So when I did this on my knee after the first treatment, I was like, okay, this is good. I can move more. I'm not as uncomfortable when I'm walking around, especially like in the office as chiropractors, we're on our feet all the time. After the third treatment, I went for a run, and I was like, okay, I don't feel as imbalanced. I feel pretty stable. This feels good. My knee felt good afterwards. After that final treatment, the Spartan race was kind of like that. Okay, let's challenge it. Let's really push it. And it was incredible. I had zero pain, no discomfort before, during, or after the treatment. My right knee is actually a lot stronger now than my left knee, because Softwave also increases the tensegrity, or the strength of the ligaments and tendons in the area, which holds on to that joint, makes it less lax.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
at that point, I was like, this is awesome. So obviously I did it on my shoulder too, because I hurt my shoulder when I was adjusting a patient. Um, After like 2 treatments, zero pain. I thought I separated my AC joint at that point. But yeah, after a couple of treatments, like zero pain. Um, I did it on my head. Actually, where that right side where I don't have that cerebellum, to help with balance. And again, I've always had trouble balancing on that right side. No problem after the first treatment, zero issues. So
That's amazing. It just works. That's
yeah,
how Apple was back in I think the 80s. That was their slogan. It just works.
this works. Yeah.
Still does. But yeah, so wow, this is unbelievable. I love it. It's one of the most, I know, fastest growing devices.
Hmm.
spreading like wildfire. I literally just saw a picture come across my screen. I guess there was a huge soft wave meeting today.
Yes.
There's one every other day, and I wish they would have this system in the inside the big pharma who the big pharma doctors. I'm being nice. I wish
Yeah.
they had, and I we know why it's not in there because it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I always tell, and patients ask me that too. And they're like, why isn't it in doctor's office? Why isn't it in ortho's office or whatnot? And I always tell them, I say, because there's no money in healthy people.
You know what? It's a truth though. I mean, look at the CDC. I think it's 100. I bet these numbers are higher, but what the CDC will tell me, 175,000 people a year die with over-the-counter drugs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Four from that list is heart attacks from the pills or
Yeah.
strokes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what are we doing? You know, it's kind of mind boggling. It's like everything's backwards. Like what's evil has become good and good has become evil. At least,
Mhm.
I mean, you can't even say the word stem bleepity bleep because they're going to say something. It's
Right.
like, I can't say stem cells,
Right. Exactly.
because it works.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But you know what? The good thing about it is, darkness can stay there for a while, but the light's got to turn on. So
Mhm.
hey, not worried about it because the sun will still rise. But Dr. Nicole, I just want to say thank you so much. You are awesome. I
You're
love what
very
you do.
welcome.
Pray continue to help people out. Guys, go to parentchiropractic.com, parentchiropractic.com. I love the name. It's easy. Everybody
Super
has
easy.
parentchiropractic.com. I love it. I wish I had a parent chiropractic out here. But thank you so much for being here. And again, you guys are a blessing.
You're very welcome, Mark.